be a package that's going to be a little bit more intense. It has to be more intense than ever before. We've been very reactionary as far as a strike versus a strike, based on what's happened to us. I think this is going to be a comprehensive package that it's going to hit the terrorist centers that exist within Iraq and Syria. And I would not doubt that this would additionally target the IRGC, or the Iranian Islamic Republican Guard Corps. So they are the ones that are responsible directly, the Iranian military, of training, supporting, and giving all support for these terrorist organizations to be able to strike. Again, it's north of 150 strikes throughout the entire area for a long period of time.
Yeah, and give me, the options that the U.S. has in terms of who they can actually target, the intelligence they may have here, Glenn, to make sure they go after this particular group that was responsible, but other affiliated groups, because as you know, there are a number of different groups operating in places like Iraq and Syria, and of course elsewhere in the region.
The biggest focus would be to make sure that they present and actually strike the areas where you can't hide, that we can see you. The intelligence and the analysis that has gone on in that area is rather significant. One, to just protect U.S. troops, but also because of the escalation of the conflict. So the idea of being able to find these terrorist centers, be able to strike them, their storage facilities, anything that gives them the capability to launch. But at the same time, it's going to be extremely intimidating. That's what we need to do, is to present that. Now, the other thing is we have to look at what the after effect is. Now, striking Iran directly would have a tremendous impact in the Middle East, and then what? That's the biggest thing you have to look at. But you do have air, land, sea forces, but you also have cyber capabilities, which is something that could be done against Iran, and it's not a kinetic attack. So these are things and options that they're weighing in the entire region.
We're going to show the map to our viewers, Glenn, just to give them a sense of, again, the geography we're talking about. And we see Tower 22 there at the top of our screen. This is where it actually happened. We talked about the pressure that the president is under by Republicans who have called him weak, that he has been too soft on Iran. You're saying it's highly, highly unlikely that there will be any direct strikes on any Iranian assets.
Yeah, I think that there's a direct strikes against Iran specifically as the country. Iranian assets, I think that is a potential. Like I said, the IRGC is in country and throughout the areas, and I don't think they're off limits at this point. But striking Iran as itself is a dangerous entity because, again, what's the follow-on? You struck whatever. And one of the things that has been a problem in the last 3 years is not just the engagement, but also the disengagement. What's the mission that we're particularly doing and the end game? So that's what I see happening in the area. That's what I foresee, I should say. But I don't see a direct attack against Iran itself. Again, a cyber possibility, yes, but not a kinetic attack. I think that would be very dangerous for the U.S. and our entire coalition in the area.
How challenging is this for the Pentagon to figure out what to do, Glenn, to make sure that their response is proportionate, but that they don't go too far?
Good question. I think it has to be even more than proportionate. So we have been reactive as we have in the past. The other thing, this was Jordan being struck as a country, so it's a possibility that there's a coalition going on. We'll see. But the biggest thing that's going to have to happen is the analysis of where the strikes are going to be and where the force is going to be. You have to remember, you put an American and possibly coalition lives at risk. And if something happens, say if it's an aircraft that is shot down, the rescue forces and the special operations team have to be able to get in and get those individuals out. So this package, when we say it, isn't just the strike package, but it's all the organizations underneath it to make that happen in theater. That's what's critical because, again, these individuals are going to be in harm's way regardless of how the approach is.
Glenn Ignazio, military expert. He's a retired Air Force Special Operations Commander, joining us today from Scottsdale, Arizona. Glenn, good to see you as always. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Todd. Take care.